can hear me. Oh, there we go. Yeah, now I can hear myself. Awesome. Yeah, I basically just came back from work and I only had like maybe 10 seconds to eat and get all my setup started. So, yep, here's the stream. I wanted to do a little post saying that I was going to be streaming tonight, but uh I started work at 4 a.m. in the morning, or I was driving on my way to work at 4 a.m. in the morning. There was no what was it? Wi-Fi where I was at. So I think what I'll do going forward is put my since I know next week for sure that I'm gonna be at least available by 8:30, I'm gonna post my stream link um in advance. So everyone that wants to come can just click on that link and join in immediately. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do for next week's stream. But yeah, today I just wanted to get started and do more flats for Saintly. So that is what I'm up to right now and getting started with today. So hey, what's up, Ichthys? How you doing, man? I am doing all right. You know where does that total excellence come from? Because I don't understand that. It's like it's like your catchphrase basically whenever you show up. It's just like that's what you say when you appear. But I don't know what total excellence means. All right, so let me get my screen. Let me start sharing my screen. Share screen. And basically on the next screen I'll be, what if I choose window? Will that? If I choose window. Dang it. Okay. Darn it. Okay, let me try again. One more time. There we go. Okay, that didn't work. I'll just share entire screen. All right. There we go. Share. And yeah, that should pull up my secondary screen. And what I'm going to do is go ahead and make myself small here, like that. Dope. But that's not the layout I wanted. It's this layout. There we go. That should do it. Let me see. I'm just waiting on. Okay, yeah. There we go. It's kind of lagging behind. What I'm going to do here is get the music on, get it playing, and just have that going in the background while I'm working. I actually have yet to watch back a single live stream of mine just to see how things are functioning, how things look. Let me make sure. Okay, I just wanted to make sure the music was playing all right. And that the live stream itself, I want to make sure that that is. Nah, it'll be fine. I'll let it be. Because there's just going to be a chill one tonight. So, yeah, I'm just going to be working on Saintly now. And basically, I have just been doing this flatting for the last, I don't know how long. It's just been together, you know. Not super busy in terms of I guess mistakes or life issues or whatever. It's just I'm working all the time. So I'm working so consistently now. I'm just like, all right, well, this is what I do. But my commute is like it's 3 hours pretty much every day. And now the job I do is like, it's super easy, but then we're in a phase where we're still in training for it, and it's not a full-time job. It's just a temporary position like everything else I do, but it is so, what's the word? I don't even know what to call it. It's just it's easy. It's not that hard. And it makes pretty decent money for me. Like, I'm just like, oh, this is nice. Like, this is something I didn't have before. Let me enjoy it. Um, but driving to and from it is taking all the time I have in the world. Like, I don't have any extra time left over to really even draw my own comic or prepare for videos or make videos. I make videos on the road, and that's kind of dangerous, but it is what it is. Like, I have to get them out there somehow, some way. So making videos on the road is just how I do things. Um, so yeah, that's partly what is going on in my world right now. Let's see. Ichthus, he says. So let me show this comment first. And then he says that phrase came out of multiple things. I believe I got it from Bill and Ted when they went to the Middle Ages. They came across the king who was in the castle. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I've actually never seen Bill and Ted before. I know Keanu Reeves was in it, but I forget the name of the other actor. I don't know who the other guy was. But yeah, I never seen those movies. I remember watching Dumb and Dumber a long time ago, and that was hilarious. But I haven't seen Dumb and Dumber 2, where it's two spelled T-O, and that's pretty funny. But yeah, let me go ahead and draw this. Nope. We want Okay, we got the milli pen, but I don't want it that big. Yeah, 15 is good. And yeah, for real, like expressions on characters are really important to me. So I'll have like expressions that look kind of real like this, where it's like interesting to look at. Let's see. Ichthus, he says, when I received my behavior card, I received an overall, did an excellent job, remembered how much it boosted me. I tried out multiple phrases and that seemed to stick. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, that's dope, man. Um, my behavior card. Like in school or something? Because I feel like that's something we would get uh back in like elementary or daycare or something like. But I do remember back in elementary they would grade papers by not they would use the word excellent if you got an A plus. So that would be where I first heard the term or read it. Okay, yeah. It says yeah in middle school. Okay, cool. Dope. All right. So I'm gonna let's see. Oh, yeah, I was just drawing without even posting. Okay. So here's what I got going on here. I want to make that guy's hair color better. Let me This is the inking layer. Let me go back here. And basically, I'm just going to go ahead and color this in. And this might be a shorter stream tonight just because I have work tomorrow. Um, and then that's it. I'm just going to go home. Like, work tomorrow. I'm trying to work every day, every single day this week. And I think I've already beaten my score from last week. Like last week I worked I missed work on Thursday so I could make this stream. And I made the stream, but I missed out on like $144 of work I could have been doing. And that was like really eating at me. I was just like, man, I missed a whole day of work. But I mean, it wasn't the worst thing in the world. It was just too conflicting schedules, and I wanted to really keep this time frame, this time period where I do this live stream and people come in to watch and whatnot. So um this is one of those other extra commitments I've been like, you know, if I'm gonna try to take this seriously as a business, I want to be able to commit to coming in like a business, like how you come into work whether you want to or not. And in this case, I make videos whether I want to or not. That's just part of the business of being a comic artist nowadays. So part of that is showing up to a live stream at pretty much the same time every week. Right now my schedule is kind of up in the air usually because I work temp jobs and it's not the same job every time. But that gives me the opportunity to at least take Thursdays to come in and do a stream, as long as I can find a job that is earlier in the day and not later in the day. And that's why I couldn't take that job the other week, because that week it was that week the job went from 4 to 11 a.m. or 3 to 11 a.m. And I was just like, dang, I want that job and it looks good, but I can't take it. So I'm just not gonna, because it would have just cut into this time and then I would have had to stream at like 12 and then go to the next job the next day. And it was just like, no, I can't do that. So what I did was, like, I promised to myself that I would just go to work literally every day of the following week and not stop. So I went right after that Thursday. I went Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, today. And yeah, that's 7 full days of work. So that should cover rent. That should cover um, certain expenses. And now I don't have to worry about that. So I've been going like full on Dave Ramsey style, like trying to fix my finances. Let me go ahead and read this comment. Okay, so when you drop the link, it's going to be an art studio vibe for next week's stream. I could make it on Christmas Day and New Year since they both land on Thursday. Damn it. Every single holiday lands on Thursday, because even Thanksgiving like 2 weeks ago landed on Thursday. So I was just like, oh, I guess there's no stream today. Either I'm gonna have to stream a day earlier or a day later so that I could make those. But yeah, I didn't even realize that they both land on Thursday. That's crazy. Okay, so when you drop the link, it's going to be an art studio vibe for next week's stream. I don't know. What is next week? Next week is going to be the 18th, I think. So yeah, next week Thursday will be the 18th. I don't even know what I'm going to do next week. So I don't know, man. Like, scheduling things out in advance, I hate it because I just am not a very scheduled person. But being like doing a business is like, you have to be on a schedule, or you have to be doing things friggin' whether you want to or not on time. Like how they rush out video games to meet a certain deadline or the holiday so that people will buy it at a certain time and that they'll have like peak numbers. That's kind of how you have to do business. Like, if I could draw an extra little drawing of, let's say, my saintly characters doing some sort of holiday theme thing, that would really be ideal, where I could draw them doing some Christmas theme type deal and maybe create a print or a sticker or something like that to sell to people. But that would take time, and I don't have that usually. So I don't know. It would also take time away from this process of uh I kind of like that color. I would change it slightly to be more purplish, but yeah. Yeah, it would take more time away from actually just drawing this comic, and I need to get out these pages faster. So, right now I'm flatting, it's almost not almost done, but this page is done. Um Hey, what's up, Dale? How you doing, man? He said no, just enjoying the holiday. Um no, man, I'll probably enjoy my time with my family and hang out with them during Christmas and whatnot. But uh, yeah, I never enjoy really any holiday these days, like fully 100%, because part of my mind is always on either like financial worries or um like or what I want to draw next or whatever. But whenever I'm with my family, like I'll be like really super present because I just I love them. So you know, like I just like hanging out with them. You know, when we can finally like actually get together, it's just a good time every time. And whenever I'm with them, it's kind of like how I kind of realize why if you have like family or if you have good relationships with your family, like I realize why drugs and stuff like that wouldn't be necessary, like because it's so like it takes just being around family like kind of takes your mind off of the world for a second and allows you to just kind of enjoy being yourself and um not focus on what the world wants from you. You can just sort of be who you actually are, and just enjoy the presence of them. So I'm checking. I gotta check page 13 in my files here. Go to Dropbox. Saintly inks is in pages. Pages to finish. Then I go to page 13. Page 13. I thought I did more of page 13 at some point. I guess it was page 30 that I was confusing it with. Yeah, I guess I just need to do this then. Let's see. Pick this. He says, so you flat all of your pages before starting the coloring process. Yeah, absolutely. Like I don't want to color one page and then realize like, okay, now I got to start all over again and color the next page and then start all over again, color the next page. Like it would just be annoying to do all that. So yeah, that's the whole deal. I flat every page and then I'll come back and do that stuff. So let me go ahead and turn this back to, okay, cool. So that's how am I showing the screen? Okay, cool. This is how it would look like without the filter or without the monochrome. Then I'm going to copy this layer and then I'm going to go to monochrome. I'm going to monochrome it. And then actually that does look sharper. Yeah, it does look sharper, but I need color in the sky at some point. Dale said, I read your preview update to Saintly last week. I couldn't tell the difference from the previous version. Was it just small changes or did I miss something? I posted some of the changes in the what's it called? The email itself. If you click on the Saintly in the email, it'll give you a new PDF that will have all the actual new changes that are in there. but the old PDF won't show that those changes. Like it'll be in that new email, and I replace it on the landing page as well. So any new people who join in the email list will see that new updated version, but they won't see the old version anymore. So if you're going back to that old file on um that you originally accessed, the new file is the one that's going to have the update. So if you click the link in that email, that will take you to the newest version of Saintly. And if not, then let me know and I'll just make changes to the email or send out a new email. Take this as, I don't know, man. There'll be one family member that you don't know which holiday they'll pop up. It's a Russian roulette if it's either Christmas, Thanksgiving, or Christmas. Yeah, it would be like that sometimes. Um, yeah. um, all right. So we'll go here. Then we'll take this, we'll lock it and hide it. And then we'll take this and then we'll make it so that only the black is visible. Yeah, let's put it back down to 111. Or 109, that's fine as well. Then I'll go ahead and make a new layer and then merge that down with that. Now it's normal and I can start coloring on top. So here I'll go ahead. Memory usage increasing, which means I have to close these other ones. I'll save it, close it, close that. Page 24. That's what it looks like so far. I don't like how the sidewalk's all the same color. I want to correct that before I move forward. Let me go ahead and do that now. There we go. Now it's all properly sidewalk color. And so is this. Actually, I like that color. I'm going to go with that. All right, dope. Hit save. Nice. Yeah, like I said, I might only be on here for like an hour or so, just so I can I still need to put up the video for today. Like I need, once I get off this live stream, I'll probably make the video and then post it immediately and then go to sleep and get ready for work tomorrow, because it's just one day after the next. It all just kind of bleeds into each other. And I'm wondering just how far I can go, but it's kind of dangerous to keep playing like that without a break, because I have to drive a long distance, and sometimes it's through places that I'm not familiar with, and it can be it leaves room for mistakes, if you know what I mean. Like okay, this has to be rasterized. Like sitting at home, if I was working at home and just chilling, like if I make a mistake, oh, I fall asleep, oh, that's fine. But if I'm driving out on the road and make a mistake, oh, I fall asleep, and then I'm cooked. It's a whole thing. It's a problem. Try that method out, see if there's a difference. Start applying everything before going in with hard shadows and lighting. Yep, absolutely, yep. That's how I've always done it. Like once I can choose the colors willingly, like through the selection process of like flatting, then I can easily like shade in multiple parts. It makes the coloring process a lot faster. Oops. Yeah, it makes coloring a lot faster once you get down to it. I don't know if I'm gonna go fully rendered with this. I'm gonna try to find a nice middle ground where it's kind of it's rendered well enough in the way that you would render a webtoon, where it's rendered enough, but it's not like top tier rendering where every nook and cranny is like shaded, and it's not gonna be like painterly, you know what I mean? It's still gonna look cartoonish like my usual style, but I need to find. Oh yeah, I should refer this layer. Okay, it's still gonna be my style, but I need to rename that to flats. And then if this layer is being referred to, let's see what we can do. Oh, okay, yeah, there's a hole. Where was my train of thought going? I completely forgot, man. Yeah, if I can figure out how to color like, oh, that's why it's doing that. Like Clip Studio, no, not Clip Studio, like a Webtoons creator, then I don't have to go all out, and I can find like creative cheats to make things look good without having to over render everything and do all that. Because drawing like a comic book colorist would be going too far. Like I personally like the colors of FCO Placencia in Invincible, and just in general, whenever I see his name on a book, and I'm pretty sure it's not just one person, it might be a group, I don't know. But anytime I see their name on a book, I'm just like, oh, this is gonna have good colors. And you can tell just by flipping through and looking, like, yep, this is FCO's work. This is top tier stuff. And that's how I've always tried to color, like, to go to that level. But the more I did my own work in this industry, the more I realized, like, damn, now I understand why they split the work up between so many people. Because it's super hard to just do it with one person at the helm. And it's not that it's necessarily the hardest thing in the world, but it becomes tedious when you don't have any help. And you're the only one you can really rely on to catch mistakes, or to color everything, draw everything, ink everything, write everything. Like, to even have that mental strain of writing on top of everything else, it's like, oh my god, you're really fucking doing it. And that's how I was trained in making comics, where I read comics that were created mostly by solo creators, or people who had a singular vision that were writing and drawing their work. And I thought, okay, yeah, that's something pretty simple that I can do too. And you can, if you're not trying to draw it at 100 miles per hour. Like, these creators, they made it at a pace of a page per week, or it could be like 2 to 3. And at max, I've seen this creator, one of the creators I respect the most, her name is Mina Sundberg. She created a comic called SSSS, or Stand Still, Stay Silent. She also created another comic called A Foxtail's Dream, but her more popular one is the SSS one. And she, at some point, she was doing 5 pages per week. That's one per day of that comic. And when I looked at her comment section, it was more active than the anime that you would see on whatever site that you use to watch anime. It was active. Like every time you would see 400 people or 400 comments in the sections down there, and it was insane. Like I was completely baffled because most web comics I look at or read, it's just like maybe one, two, three, four comments that you'll see in there, and I'm like, okay, that's respectable, nice. But this was 400 on a consistent basis, and that's because she was consistent with making the work and putting it out there. She would just every week, no matter what, she would post the stuff out there until the comic was over. Like her story ended at some point, and it was just like more popular than some anime just because she was consistently putting it out there and she was able to sell it and make money off it. I don't know what she does now, but her stuff is called like Humming Fluff uh Studios or something like that. I wouldn't be surprised if she ever got an anime or something like that because she was working to the point of um she was working so hard that at some point I noticed that that she only started posting like 4 pages per week. And I was just like, why'd she lose a page in terms of her production? And that was because she was using that extra time to create a fucking video game out of her comic. She was self-producing a video game out of her story, and that was um I don't know, I guess that was gonna be like a promotion thing. I was just like, this girl is insane. Like she's doing the most. She's actually putting in more work than I've seen anybody else ever put into a singular work. And yeah, it just became a really popular comic for a short period of time. I wish I read it. Um, I don't think I'm not sure if it was something where I wasn't into it or I was just reading other things at the time. I think um yeah, I don't know. I'll still have to like read it one day, but I always like respected her hustle and how much work she was putting into that thing because that was an insane pace to maintain and keep up. So basically I learned this do it yourself mentality from all the webcomics that I read in the past because they were able to do something great with just their own tools and resources in their mind. And I wanted to do something just like that, but I didn't realize how consistent you have to be and how to get like readers and whatnot. No matter what, like you have to be as consistent as I'm being on YouTube with your webcomic in terms of posting. And this is what I'm doing with Saintly right now. I'm trying to build a backlog. I'm trying to build the buffer, which is a buffer of pages where you have enough pages to where you're um just posting online. Like Saintly isn't even officially released yet. You guys are just getting the black and white version on my email list when you sign up, but it's not even officially released. The dialogue's not done, or it's not published 100%. Let me go ahead and read this. Yeah, the best example of the work ethic of comics is an assembly line. Everybody has a specific role and they know what to do since they do the same thing over and over again. Yeah, it's perfect. And I just didn't realize that that was the case. I didn't realize how much work it takes just to be one of those assembly line creators. There will be no room for error, and anyone will accomplish the goal that needs to be met. Yep. Oh, video game is so expensive for both time and money. Yep. Yep. Exactly. I don't know how. Yeah, I don't know how she managed it, but that was an insane feat that she was able to do. Um, I don't know. I need to. uh check my laundry right now. I set a timer for it. Um, I think I'm gonna go ahead and do that right now because I need to do it before tomorrow and before I go to sleep, or else I won't have a blanket to sleep on. So give me just 1 second. It'll be a couple minutes, and I'll be right back to finish the stream. Let me. Man, I wish I had like a video or something I could put this on to make it more fun to look at. But I'll just let it linger on this page. I'll be right back. Y'all say boo? Don't boo me, nigga. Oh my god. I said boo. That's funny. Yeah, let's see. Dale says I work faster when I do assembly line style, even when I do everything myself. Full script, then thumbnails, pencils, inks, sound effects, letters. It takes some of the enjoyment out of the process, though. Yeah, no doubt about that, man. Yeah, it's like when you do everything, it's it's the you're doing all the assembly line stuff yourself, and that. Yeah, I mean, it does take some of the quote unquote like joy and passion out of the process, but that is I guess the sacrifice, you know. Because the reason I do web comics is because I don't really want anyone else touching my work. I want to make it all myself, but if I'm gonna make it at a sustainable pace one day, I'm gonna have to actually let people let other people work on it and do what they are gonna do to the comic. Like even Mobius didn't draw fully every comic. Like he drew every one of his comics, but he wasn't the one to color every single one. They had to hire a colorist and get somebody else to basically aid his art and make it shine, make it better, or make it work. But sometimes it just didn't work out. Sometimes, like one version of the Inkle is just really badly colored. Like whoever put their color spin on it or their idea of what everything should be colored like, ruined it, and they had to reprint that shit and make it good. I ended up buying the good version like back in the Kubert school, But nobody knows what happened to that bad version now. Damn it, that's not her hand. Yeah, nobody knows what happened to that bad version now. So it just is what it is, man. Like you just gotta let's see. You just gotta like for me personally, I have to like let go of my ego and um like let other people work on my stuff and help bring it to life. And I would be very strict on the in terms of the color choice and everything. I would be like, hey, you guys got to do it by the book, by my rules, and all that stuff, and all that stuff. You know. So do you hear that? Day we might have comic work after this stream. Yeah, I'd actually like to see y'all's work. That would be really cool, actually. Uh, Make sure to wash your hands. Yep, yep, definitely, man. Just you have to be pure of heart to color my stuff, man. So yeah, I mean, but that's why I admired web comic artists like in the classical sense before webtoons came out for so long because they were busy. They were actually doing it all themselves and they were making it happen. So I was like, okay, yeah, I gotta do it like that. And it was the same with manga artists because they were doing like the brainchild or like the idea and the concept and the execution of the work was all their own. And I was just like, yeah, I gotta be able to do that if I'm going to be this type of artist or this type of creator. Because if you can't write and draw your own comic, then you can't really be a web comic artist without somebody helping you on either writing or drawing. Um, and I don't really want to draw other people's scripts per se unless they're paying me like a significant amount of money. And even then I'm like I still got to create my own work because I feel like I can prove myself with creating my own stuff. I just have to be faster about it so it'll come out a lot faster. But 90% of my day is spent in traffic and driving to and from work and during work. But it's only with this new temporary job that I've been doing. It's not going to be a forever thing. I just need to find, I guess, some health insurance or something like that. But yeah, let's see what's up with the comments. With color choices, you can do the flatting to make it easy. That's what my clients would do to make the guesswork easier on my end. Okay, I see what you're saying. They would do the color choices and then you would color it. Okay. Um what I wanted to do in this case was I wanted to hire a flatter to flat the colors and then I would choose the colors after they flatted it and then I would just color on top of it. But because I didn't have any money to hire a flatter, I was just like, yeah, I can't. I have to flat the whole thing myself now. Turnaround time is faster as well. Yeah, for sure. Dale said, "Can you imagine how it was in the Renaissance? They made their own paints and brushes and canvases. No, for real, dude. They were probably like mashing pigments and stuff to make certain colors. And if they didn't have like I don't know yellow flowers or whatever, they just didn't have yellow, and that was that. Um, like everything with the progression of technology makes it easier for creators to literally just strike out on their own and make their own stuff. But it's with the rise of this ability to be able to make your own animations. I'm not even talking about what do you call it? AI. I'm talking about like back in the days of Disney Studios. And this is a machine that we saw back in the Kubert School, all the way back then. But back in the days of Disney Studios, you needed 100 people to make a 30-second animation because you needed like a, let's say, a script writer, you needed a storyboard artist, you needed people to paint and color the cells, you needed the animators themselves, you needed a whole bunch of people to come together to make 30 seconds of animation. And then in maybe 2004 or maybe 1990 something, um, Flash, uh, the program Flash, what do you call it? Not player, not CS3, but Adobe Flash. Yeah, Adobe Flash made it possible for just one person to do the work of 100 people from Disney Animation. But it would take months. It would take time, but that's how much time it took for them to do the same thing back then. And now everybody had the ability to do it on their own if they just bought the software. What is up, Massive Panda? How you doing, man? Appreciate you coming in today, man. I'm just tired. I'm like trying to get some work done and talking about like just how to make your own work and all that. So that's what I'm up to. Let me. I hope this was on the right page and I wasn't just talking for no reason. Um, let's save. Okay. So I've just been coloring this the whole time, and here we go. But yeah, all of a sudden, like Flash animation could just be done. Like animation could just be done by one person, and you didn't need a whole studio to do it. You just needed imagination and time. And some of my favorite animations from back in the day, like that people would post in like Flash Portal or Newgrounds. I was afraid of Newgrounds because back in the day I was just afraid of curse words for no particular reason. I was afraid of curse words and I was afraid of blood and death and all that stuff. So I didn't like watching scary stuff where people would like get hurt or bleed or die or curse. So even when people like would curse, I would just like what's the word? I would mute it just so I didn't hear any cursing, and that was mostly thanks to my Christian like upbringing. So I was just like, oh, if I hear a curse word, then I'll learn a new curse word, and that'll make my mind evil or something. So I was like supremely afraid of all that kind of stuff back then. But what was I talking about? Flash Portal and all those things. That was how I took in people's animations and some of my favorite stuff created by like Artil and who else? There's this guy named Max JJ. They would make said, so you weren't fearful of cartoon corn? No, I know what you're talking about. Cartoon prawn. No, dude, that was probably the scariest thing because I was just like, what? Like it was just such an unknown to me at the time. I was just like, what could this possibly be? I didn't want to see anybody's like intimate parts or whatever. I was just scared of all that stuff for the longest fucking time, man. I don't even know why. It was just part of my personality or whatever at the time. So I was scared of blood, death, sex, and anything else, man. I was just scared of what I guess reality was, or what it was, what was part of it. But that was mostly due to being like really sheltered from all that kind of stuff when I was growing up. But yeah, like I used to watch Flash animations on Flash Portal, and watching stick characters commit violence was funny. Like that was different. Like stick characters bleeding and cutting their like cutting arms off and doing these epic fights. I was like, yo, this is amazing. I'm all for this. Uh and those were so cool, and especially when people would of stick characters fighting, and they look so cool. Um and I love watching those when I was a kid. So uh I guess a lot of that formed part of my personality the way it is now. Um because those were fun times. So people got the power to do animation on their own, and now they have the ability to do even more, even crazier stuff on their own, like using 3D, using Blender, using all manner of stuff that used to take an entire studio. You can just figure out, watch a few tutorials on YouTube and figure out how to do it on your own now. Like that is insane. Like we've come so far from the point of we have to grind pigments and make our own paints so we can paint one picture and take several months and years to do that, to now we can just do that in an afternoon using digital um, products or buying the right paints to make the stuff. So yeah, it's we have definitely come a long way in making our own projects, and it's only gonna get crazier from here. Not necessarily because of the advent of AI, because AI is like, it's good as an assistant or maybe an editor, but not good as a creator or generator. It doesn't create anything cool or new. But I feel like if people were to use it to assist in their creation of something new, in terms of like, oh, I need a table here in this animation, put this table here, or I don't know, like just to generate like small bits, or do the menial tasks that used to take a team, and just get it to do like in betweens, where you already know how to in between, but you do it right, and then you have it fill in the rest. And then you're able to make Avatar, The Last Airbender. If you have the skills to to fucking write and draw and animate to some level, you're gonna be able to make Avatar: The Last Airbender in your bedroom by yourself, using a combination of you and some AI tools and whatnot. Um, and it's not like you're using the AI tools to make the whole thing. You're just using it to assist with certain bits and pieces, but not make the whole thing. Um, but yeah, it's getting to that point where people have the power to do literally anything, like create anything and make anything. Um, because of these products that people make, like Clip Studio. You can animate in Clip Studio if you didn't know. Like Clip Studio, Procreate, you can animate with that as well now too. I have Procreate Dreams on my iPad, but I never fucking used it. I never have the time, dude. Um, Let me go ahead and check out this comment. Says, out of pure passion, nobody was afraid to take on the tasks despite what the quality of the work may look like, since it's a learning experience and other creators and fans of the media respect. Yep. The overall outcome of the product, as long as there is growth, change, and improvement in the quality of the work. Yeah, especially if it's an individual creator who is learning and trying to get better. People definitely respect that that creators like drive to just make stuff and make it good. um I felt like there was something I was gonna say on the another thing about creation, but I'll get back to it. It is First and foremost, it's fun, and it takes a while. And I don't think AI is going to take that away in any shape or form. If people can find a way to make it enhance their work or make it so that they can harmoniously work with it rather than who uses it or do witch hunts online. In fact, I've been so disconnected from the internet. I don't really even know what's going on online anymore. Like I just watch videos, Dave Ramsey videos about like get your act together and figure out your financial situation, you dummy. You're a fool and you're using money as water. And so I watch all the videos to friggin' like figure out how to improve my financial situation. And I'm like, it's getting better. Like I'm working so much that I'm making more money that I'm seeing reflected in my bank account. I'm like, dude, okay, yeah. I mean, I'm not 100% cooked anymore. Um, Clip Studio has been used for the longest time in the anime industry, believe it or not. Even though it was called Manga Studio at the time, it did what most digital animation was able to do. Um, Dale said, "Let me first address this. Yeah, I remember having Manga Studio. Like I had Manga Studios on my computer as Manga Studio 5. That was the last version that they had before they switched to calling it Clip Studio, and that was the first uh, digital program that I got along with my first tablet and using my computer. So yeah, it was good times, man. Like I was learning how to like color digitally for the first time ever. Like all my friends back in middle school who had like tablets and stuff, and I was just like, "What is a tablet? I don't know what that is." And all I had was like paper and pencil up until maybe 2015 when I used the money from my first or second job to buy a computer and a tablet and finally like figure out how to draw. So that was fun. And I didn't know that they been using like Clip Studio in the animation industry for so long, but I noticed them using it on I think maybe like JJK or something like that. They were using tablets to just create JJK. I'm like, yo, what the? That's how y'all make this? That's crazy. But uh yeah, I can believe it. Like, cause I've heard of Toon Boom and stuff like that, but they have like dedicated software to making that stuff. Um Dale says, did you complete baby step one? Yep, I absolutely did. Because I had what's it called? He said, "That's awesome to hear about your finances, dude. That's a huge accomplishment. For sure, it's going to reflect not only in your work but business as a freelancer. Yeah, for sure. And yeah, I did complete baby step one, which is I think save $1,000 for an starter emergency fund. Paycheck I got from my job was $595, and I was just like, I'm going to protect this last bit of money from my job like my life depends on it. Like I'm gonna protect it with my life. I'm not gonna lose it or spend it. I'm not gonna do anything like that. I actually have a motorcycle, and it would probably cost 600 to um get it up and running and fix it and make it good so that I can ride again. But that is completely out of the fucking question right now because the only thing that matters right now is getting out of debt. And then maybe one day I can get my wings back. Like that's what I consider that motorcycle is like my wings of freedom. Um, like in Attack on Titan or whatever, man. Like it is so fun to ride that thing, but it's always a hassle because every once in a while, or like after a few months of using it, like something happens to where either a, a brake handle breaks off and I have to fix it that way, the or a tire pops and I have to fix it that way, and now it's just completely out of commission because now it costs too much to fix. And it was a cheap old motorcycle, but it still worked fine, and it still works fine now. It's just that it would cost so much to fix it that I'm gonna have to leave it for I'm gonna have to leave it for years until I can get back to having the finances to be able to fix it without ruining the progress I made. So that $595 that I got from the last paycheck from my job, which was paying me too little, I was just like, I'm gonna hold on to this. And then last month I was able to add enough to it to raise it to 1,000 and save my first $1,000 in my startup emergency fund. I'm tempted to add more, but I'm not going to because that's not what Dave Ramsey would do, and he would just call me a fool. You dumb. You're just like, you gotta follow that stuff exactly to the T. And so I got that saved up, and now I'm just focused on paying down all my consumer debt. I got a ticket recently that actually I need to pay off for speeding, but luckily they didn't. They just gave me a warning and told me to fix my registration. So I got my registration done on Monday. That was $77. So another 20, and then I'll have that ticket wiped away, and I won't have to worry about it anymore. Then, what's the word? I have like a medical bill that's like 300 that I have to pay, and then once that's done with, then I don't have to worry about that anymore. So it's just one little thing at a time, one after the other, and it's a much better place, a much more secure place than I was like when I first started doing these videos on the channel, where I had like what 300. What was it? Negative 300 in the bank? Yeah. I think it was negative 300 in the bank. Let me go back to that first video and we'll like see what that shit was. Actually, I banned YouTube off my computer. So if I try to go to YouTube, it blocks the site. So it's like completely cooked. But if I go, let's do it faster by going to my computer or my iPad. I think maybe I removed YouTube from my iPad as well. Okay, so then I would just go to Google Chrome and what? Set Chrome as your default browser. Just leave me alone, bro. Okay, so if I can just no, okay, so I can go to YouTube and it shows that I'm live. Neat. Okay, so I'm gonna go to, oh wow, 1,660 subscribers. That's cool. Appreciate y'all. Let me see. He said that's pretty wild since you use YouTube as a content creator. I'm trying to think what that was in reference to. Yeah, I don't know what that was in. I forget what that was in reference to. So Master Panda, man, I remember those days. I was getting an overdraft statement in the mail from my bank every other week. Ah, man, the grind was real, but don't get me wrong, I'm still broke out here. Damn. Yeah, dude. I'm trying to. The grind is real, man. Like I'm feeling it right now, but I'm just on that Dave Ramsey stuff right now, and as long as I can like stay disciplined with that, then I'll be out of debt in no time. So yeah, this is all my oh, here we go. Yeah, so these are all the videos I've been making. Okay, so that was a day ago. I need to make today's video, so I'm going to do that after this call. Is there more popular art style? What happened to this? Maybe the illustration was removed or something, or the thumbnail was removed. That's weird. Anyways, uh, keep going down, keep going down. Damn, I did a lot of videos. Where is it? It's gonna be in one of the first videos I did. Okay. Okay, yeah, it was my actual bank account. Okay. Yeah, it was negative $330 and 36 cents. And that was because I got overdrafted from another bill from something else I was doing. So yeah. So I come a long way from that. Now my account is like I'm still deeply, deeply in debt, but I have leeway because I'm just working every single day and making more than I used to. So I'm able to live on less while still making more money, enough to keep the pace with all my bills and stuff. As long as I don't make a mistake or get hurt or whatever, then I can keep doing this, but it's just I got to be careful. Oh, as a reference, you block YouTube with all your computer. Yeah, man, like it is such an addiction, dude. Like I will just before I even know it, like okay, so let's talk about a morning, or maybe I'm just sitting down to relax. I'll just pick up my phone, and then the first thing I see is like the YouTube app. I click it immediately. Like I'll see a video or whatever. Like it doesn't even have to be playing videos immediately like TikTok. It would just be like a bunch of titles and thumbnails, and I'm just like, ooh, which one's interesting? Which one will teach me something? Which one is gonna be funny? Which one can I watch and just get a quick hit of dopamine from? And then I will click on it, and then an hour or two later, I'm just completely like in a trance, and then I'm like, oh, I gotta snap out of it and try to do some work. Um, and it was that addictive, and that's not even like TikTok addictive. You know what I mean? Like TikTok, I was actually afraid of TikTok because TikTok, the first thing I saw when I ever signed into TikTok was a video, and it was just a scrolling mechanism, and you just scroll, like the first thing you see is a video. It's not even, hey, welcome to TikTok, sign in and make your account. No, the first thing you see is a video, and it's instantly trying to figure out what you like, what you respond to, what you want to see. And I was just like, yeah, that's crack, that's visual crack. I'm gonna get off of that and go watch YouTube shorts. Like YouTube shorts just copied the formula, and because I was already on YouTube, it got me. Like all they had to do was be like TikTok but for YouTube, and I was just like, well, I'm hooked now. So yeah, I've been off of that. I did a video, let's see, 5 days ago. Oh no, 8 days ago. And that was 5 days into my dopamine detox. So I guess it must be like two a little over 2 weeks at this point, that since I stopped uh all YouTube use and all that kind of stuff. I did have one like little relapse where I watched it for that day that I was off from work, but um that was all to quote unquote learn stuff, you know. I was learning uh like writing techniques and typing down the notes in my computer, but really I didn't need to know all that stuff. I could have just figured it out on my own, but I my brain has that curiosity that needs to be um you know, explored or whatever. So yeah, but other than that, I've just been off YouTube. I'll see videos of like Dave Ramsey and stuff in my car, but that's just to understand certain concepts about money and whatnot. and sometimes to be entertained by by his rants or whatever. But for the most part, like I haven't scrolled anything on Instagram or Twitter. There's no time wasting going on there. There's no time wasting going on YouTube. All of it is being spent wisely now. Like I got more of my mind back, where I'm just thinking stronger and have more like laser like focus, where I just focus on the task that needs to be done, and I'm not looking for the next hit of dopamine from watching a YouTube video or searching for another YouTube video or whatever. Like I'm just focused on, okay, let me since I'm so bored, or since I don't have anything else to do, I might as well just flap more of my comic or put some more effort into making this video or making this whatever I'm doing, or thinking this thought. Like my thoughts have become more interesting than YouTube, and I'll just be thinking like, okay, how can I improve 1% today? How can I do this thing better? uh and it's like little by little, like I'm starting to get my mind back, and I'm not so 100% focused on what's going on in the world, uh or with other creators or anything like that. I'm just focused. Like taking YouTube out of my daily attention habit is basically put all the attention back on me and my immediate goals and desires. So I'm getting more work done, having more focus at work. And yeah, it's just been an overall positive thing. Like I've always tried to do it in the past, but now it's like an emergency situation. I wish I could do it when there was an emergency present. Just like I wish I could have saved money when uh it wasn't an emergency. But uh desperate times call for desperate measures, man. Like this type of stuff will force you to lock in and get better at money management, time management, all that stuff. Because all the money that I was spending before was just on books, like manga or whatever. If I got bored one day and I was just like, it was mostly because I felt hopeless at the time. Like I felt like my job was keeping me sort of in a holding pattern where, okay, well, I'm not ever gonna really get out of debt in this situation, and I'm not gonna uh but I'm not feeling uncomfortable. I'm sort of in a really nice comfortable position. I don't really have to move anywhere. It was only at the point where I realized my bills weren't keeping up, like my income wasn't keeping up with my bills, and my bills were raising. I was just like, yeah, I gotta do something quick or I'm cooked. um that I actually finally like broke the genjutsu of my job and jumped out, started doing other types of work to make money. And now I do a lot of temp jobs and make money doing that, but it's making way more than my job, even though it's taking more time away from me to do my comics. Uh, but I feel like I have more control over my finances now, and I can start to make some progress, some headway, and not be completely drowned. Because when I felt like I was completely drowned in them and couldn't do anything, because I was just resigned to being stuck with the job income, like the dishwashing job income. I was just like, oh well, I'm not gonna be able to uh get out of debt right now, so I might as well just go and fix my motorcycle again, or I might as well go and buy some books, some manga I don't need, or I might as well go and do some other crap that doesn't matter or won't help me in the future, because I was like, yeah, my future is cooked, so I might as well just um oh man, I haven't been showing my screen. I might as well just focus on not not even trying to get out of debt. Um but you guys, he said, what'd you call it? A hydroceramic technician? No, the term is uh a ceramics hydro technician. But basically almost memorized it. But yeah, it's a ceramics hydro technician. And yeah, that's like what the mafia would call their job if they're being dishonest about it, you know. Yeah, sometimes you just have to have that arc where you detach from social media, internet antics, news, and even checking phone notifications. It will cleanse the mind. Yeah, for real, man. I'm just I feel much freer in my head, and I'm actually starting to fix some things around my house and workplace that I just didn't have time for before, because I was using it all to watch funny YouTube videos or whatever the fuck. Like, just searching out funny YouTube videos will take so much time away from your life. And right now it's just go time. Like, I have no time to be messing around. I need all the powers of focus and physical ability that I possibly have, or else I'm not gonna make it out of this thing. Um, I'm not gonna beat my debt, and I have 13,000 in maybe consumer debt, and then I probably have like 60 to 70, maybe even 90,000 in school loans that I have to figure out how to pay. But it's deferred right now, and I'll be well prepared by the time it comes back online, so that I can actually pay it and then beat it. Like, actually beat it into the ground and get off in like 2 or 3 years. All I have to do is keep on this like Dave Ramsey stuff and spend less than I actually make. So I did my budget for November, and how much I was making and how much I spent then. Um I even did a whole separate sheet for like my gas expenses and my food and groceries and eating out. I think I spent $46.35 in eating out, and that was one of them was like almost obligatory, to be honest. And then just groceries was $111.25, which I thought was good, because I thought I was spending like over $200 in groceries. So yeah, I'm just like focused on all that stuff. Dale says, I have a lot of downtime at my job, and to stay off YouTube, I go to the Project Gutenberg website to read classic books online. Currently reading 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. That's actually really commendable, dude, because I want to read more literature as well. I did a video a little bit about that, where I have like Catcher in the Rye just on standby to eventually start reading. But yeah, that's pretty dope. Icta says, wow, that's quite the title name. It sounds like you have six-figure position. Maybe that's the whole purpose for this fancy word soup. Positions that have more straightforward names. It could be for that could be the thing, man. Like, where people who are like, oh yeah, I am what do you call it? A something specialist or whatever, where I'm a color changer. I don't know, technology specialist. But really, you just want to say colorist because I color comic books. and it makes it sound more more official than it actually is. Like you just put a bunch of like word salad, word soup um labels on it and make it sound cooler than it actually is. So yeah, I know what you mean by that. I don't know where I came up with that, but I think I read a book that said, "Oh, if you want to get girls, you want to make your job sound cooler than it is. So just just give them a fake name for it." I was just like, "All right, bet I'm gonna say hydraulics, fucking ceramics hydro technician." So yeah, and I still do dishwashing jobs to um just every once in a while to make ends meet. Um, but those are nice. Like those are fun. Like it's those are like to go over there and eat. Basically, like the dishwashing itself is easy as fuck. Then you go and just eat whatever's on the line because you're working at a college or whatever, and they're doing that. So yeah, I don't plan to be broke forever. I don't want to be. I'm just in that phase of life where I have to go all out in terms of working so that eventually I can get to a point where I don't have to work if I don't want to. Or if I um can get to a point where first I pay down all my consumer debt, then I pay down all my student loan debt. I want to get to my zeroth dollar where I have actually $0 and 0 cents, but I am um out of debt, so I'm actually worth more than I am now, where I'm worth negative several thousand dollars, several tens of thousands of dollars. Um, Let me see all the names that you came up with here. Color enhancement engineer. Yep. Chief periodical pigment editor, aka colors. Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, those are good. And people will put that on their LinkedIn profiles to make their job sound cool or sound like super important and stuff. And people will buy it, like, oh wow, that sounds really serious. I would like your services as a pigmentation uh engineer, chief periodical pigment editor. That's crazy. But yeah, that's just the way it goes, man. And yeah, I feel like once I get to that point where I'm not worried about money like every day, um I can just focus on making comics, like making my comics better and making them more often and putting them out there. Like I'm just focused on this cuz I'm getting paid to do it, but I need to go hard on it like every single second of every day if I want to get it out there. Um because I'm being paid for it for one. Uh but if I didn't have debt and didn't have to compulsively go to work every single day to dig myself out of this hole, uh, I'd be making insanely much faster. And I would still do it on my own, but I would have fun doing it on my own. Um, I would just enjoy the process of doing that. And that's what I think is the deal with let's say like Common America. Like those guys are making money hand over fist with Common America, and yet they still work their day jobs. I always used to think like, oh, it's a badge of shame to be working a day job while you're still doing comics. But them working their day jobs gives them capital and gives them money to be able to fund their comics work. And I always thought you're only official or you're only a true comic artist if you're making money, making a full-time living off your work and only making comics. So that you don't have to do anything else. But that's not the case. People are using money in ways that will yield them certain results, and because they have money, they're able to uh fund and pay for creators to make all this art of common America and distribute it in Japan and other countries and whatnot. Like it's able to get big because they have enough money to fund it with the jobs that they have. And it's like, oh, they still have their day jobs, but they're able to work on the comic and make it much faster than they would if they were just trying to do the comics, because they can live off the but they're a duo, so maybe they can't do that 100%. But I'm thinking if they really wanted to, or they found a way, they could like live just off the comic. But they want to keep running this business. They want to keep running as a good business, so they don't want to eat into the money that they are making off of the comic, and then just keep reinvesting that back in the business and making it stronger. And that's the point that I have to get to at some point in order to make uh, the same types of waves, like the same progress in my comic. Because if I keep getting wiped out financially at the end of every month, or keep getting wiped out um, financially just in general, and have to work to scramble to fix everything, and don't have time to draw my own comic, draw the thing that I'm working to draw in the first place, then it it becomes just another reason that I would get wiped out before my competition does. Because comics is kind of like a war of attrition, where you have to stick around the longest and go through the most hardship if you want to be at the top of your side of the industry. And currently, Common America is on top of their side. Maybe Eric July is as well, but from a pure creator standpoint, like Tim Lim and Mike Pellegrini are there, and Tim Lim still works as a dental professional or something like that. I don't know what he does, but it's in the medical field somewhere, and they both use all the money that they have to keep putting that back into the business. Um, no, for real, dude. He does his day job, comes back, and then he makes Common America. Like, he's drawing at insane speeds, and then he's also coloring it. So I'm like, maybe he's hiring a flatter, and then he's able to do that. But he's outlined some of the methods that he uses to go faster in the making of his comic. But even if you listen to how he does it, it's like, can you do it? Can you replicate what he's doing there? And it's just like, fuck, I can't, man. He's just going too fast. So it takes time to develop that level of speed. And if you don't have a sound mind or a sound body or a sound financial situation, all of those things are reasons that you would get cooked, that you would just not be able to keep up with these guys. Uh, just having the ability to take care of yourself financially, or take care of yourself physically, and all that kind of stuff are reasons that would keep you in the game of comics longer. All you have to do, like, is just stay in the game. Just stay in the game. Just stay in the game a little bit longer. A little bit longer. And if you can stay in the longest and find a way to carve out your niche and succeed, then you win. And that's it. Like, you win. And you earn the right to be able to continue winning. And then people will look at you and wonder, like, how the hell did he manage to pull that off? Well, maybe he kept his finances in a good spot, stayed healthy, didn't get depressed, didn't get involved in like internet politics, didn't get embroiled into massive like lawsuits, didn't get wiped out financially, didn't make dumb decisions that would slow you down in comics. anything that slows you down in comics is um just taking you closer to death or taking you closer to your entire business failing. Anything that slows you down. So because when there's no comic coming out, then there's no product, there's no uh story coming out, and that's the what comics are made out of. They're made out of story. You need more story, and that is the product you are selling. If you're not drawing fast enough to make more story, then just become a just become an artist and don't draw comics, because comics takes 1,000 pictures to just convey a single idea. If you became just a regular artist, then you would use one picture to convey like an idea. Um, but comics, you have to be creating very fast to put more product out there. Like you can't, like Saintly has taken months for me to draw, and you can't be as particular about your art as I've been with Saintly, trying to not make it perfect, but to make it to a certain standard that is at least acceptable to people. Like I'm still not that great at drawing, so that's why I have to try a little bit harder just to match the regular ability of other people, and I'm still not that good. So I'm working from disadvantage, and now I have to work my ass off to get out of debt so that one day in the future I can be continuously making Saintly without having to worry about my financial future or getting like wiped out by some debt or something that needs to be paid. So once I hit that point, it's like not smooth sailing, but it'll be like, okay, yeah, I can breathe a little bit and move a little bit faster in the creation of this thing and not have to worry about all that stuff. So, I believe Tim and Mark are the modern day Eastman and Laird manga edition. Dude, I think if for the indie scene, I think if their stuff gets on TV, then they could be. Um I don't know if they're gonna be able to remove the quote unquote like corn stigma from their comic, where people think like, oh, it's just gooner slop. It's just to try to get your attention. Like it's just, like I don't think if they can remove that from their uh from how people perceive Common America, I think it would have no trouble getting an anime. Like, I don't doubt that they would get an anime or something, and then um, have it blow up in Japan and then blow up in America in some way. I think maybe they're even working on that as we speak, Um, and drawing comics, that's what I was going to say. Drawing comics is different from doing animations. And I want to do animations, and I want to do Blender, like I want to do 3D stuff, but drawing comics is my job. Like it is what I learned all my skills for. It is the job I have the skill for, if that makes sense. So even though I want to do animation and I want to do Blender, those aren't my job. So there's no reason to waste time trying to do that unless I'm going to just do it for fun. That would just be for fun. I would do that. Even illustrating like a luxurious illustration that looks like it came off of Pixiv, that's not even part of my job description. My job description is making comics, and that means making illustrations like this that are sort of quick but also readable and able to tell a story. Like that's it. That's the only thing that really matters. Can you tell the story with your images? If you look at Hunter x Hunter and the art in Hunter x Hunter, that is somebody who is focused on their one job, which is telling great story. They're not trying to be an animator. They're not trying to do all this YouTube stuff. They're not doing all this other stuff. Like they're just focused on telling story, and that is my job description. And the reason why I don't even have time to do an animation, or don't have time to do 3D, or don't have time to do music or whatever else I want to do, because all of the focus and skill and the thing that I'm getting paid for goes into making this comic. So that's the important thing. That's what I put all my skill points into, my artist skill points into making story work, like storytelling and comics. um I guess I could use that skill to make storyboards as well for animation, but I don't want to. So comics it is, you know what I mean? Let's see. Massive panic. Getting involved in internet politics is the absolute biggest mistake. Imagine wasting your time responding to comments and arguing online every day after work instead of working on your comic. It's bad. Yeah, no doubt, man. Because it's like responding to those comments, you're responding with your whole heart and your whole energy. And bro is just 12 years old, dude. Like it was a kid just trolling or rage baiting or whatever. Or it might even just be a bot comment, and you're spending all this time like, oh, I'm gonna own him with this fucking comment, and you think like you're writing the next Shakespeare like rebuttal, or this fucking like Socratic seminar that you're gonna destroy them with. Bro is 3 years 3 years old using the internet for the first time, and he pissed you off that bad. You're cooked. So yeah, that kind of stuff is like it'll throw you off completely. Dale Egg, he said, I'm trying to get faster in my process. My latest comic, I did 22 pages, everything in 3 months. I was pleased with myself. That's awesome, man. Did you do like the colors and lettering and all that kind of stuff, or was it more like just black and white, like manga style? um Let me know. Hell no, man. Your artwork is where it's at, and I love the way your characters work. It's a great blend of Western and anime. Hey, I appreciate it, Matt, Panda. Thank you. Yeah, I just did so much like comics. Like I did so much cartoon style that I was just trying to I did like in the past, like I did so much manga style. I was just like, yeah, I gotta branch out, or I gotta learn how to do a different style, or else I'm just gonna be a lesser version of manga for the rest of my life. So uh I always admired how cartoons were different from manga style, and I always admired the differences between the two. And that's why I started to slowly branch out into making more cartoon style stuff that looks like Kids Next Door and does different things with the mouth, but people don't necessarily like this style, or I just didn't make enough of it to really make a wave with it. Like this page took a long time to draw, and that's because I was using 100% of my mind and skill and talent to make something like this. But it's not what sells. Like people don't give a fuck. They'll read that page for only a second and then go on to the next thing. It doesn't matter that you drew it like this. But back when I just started out, let me see my full gallery. It's my old artwork. Back when I first started out, I was so manga and anime focused because that's what truly inspired me. That with the first ever series that I made, it was called Gillen Seed. I made these two characters and used them as a vehicle to learn manga style or learn anime style and whatnot. And I would just draw sketches all the time, like figuring out like how to draw better, how to make like anime characters, or how to do all this stuff. And I learned how to draw like with watercolors, because color pencils was too slow. and using watercolor, I could get sort of the same effect as Copic markers, because Copic markers I could not afford at the time. So I was just like, all right, well, I better learn how to use these $3 Crayola watercolors and figure it out. So yeah, that's why I was so focused on traditional stuff back then. Um, so yeah, I figured out anime style pretty early on. I was like maybe 15, 16, 19, um, 18 when I was drawing this stuff. And then um yeah, this is old work. When was this? 2014. Jesus Christ. 11 years ago. And this was like me taking like 2 weeks to do something like this. Um and figure out how to draw. And yeah, I was always like looking at other styles, especially like Mobius, um and like French comics, and that's where I got like rendering styles like this. Like I discovered Mobius near the end of high school, and I started like doing my lines like he did, and making my stuff look kind of cool and rough. I started doing like experimental stuff because of Mobius like this. Like I was just like, Mobius is so cool. I'm gonna try to do something weird. Um, because it was first like at first it was just pure anime style and whatnot. Then I figured out like, oh, I can draw differently. I can draw in a different way. Let me try that. So that was like my old stuff, and now I've found like a decent middle ground, but I still haven't reached my final form yet. Like this is kind of cool. Like I really love this piece, but I don't know. People don't really either they don't like it, or I don't know. People like the other Y2K stuff that people make uh, instead. So I just gotta keep going until I reach my final form of art. All right. Let me go to back to Clip Studio, and let me check out these comments. Oh, it seems to be anime being developed. I followed the studio that are sharing the screenshots. Oh, that's so cool. Yeah, I didn't know. I was just guessing that they were gonna be making an anime for Common America, but I didn't know. I didn't know they're actually doing it. That's cool. Um, that's kind of like Ruby back in the day, like when Ruby was made by Rooster Teeth, and then years later they made an anime out of that. Um, and that was headed by like Monty Ohm back then, and that was like one of the premier top tier like internet animations. I never watched any of it. I like the music from it, sung by that girl, but I don't know her name. But I never watched any of it. I watched the first episode. I thought, oh, this is pretty cool. Seems like more style over substance, but more power to them. And then it just became a massively popular thing. Master Panda said, I meant to ask before, are you switching back and forth between traditional and digital line art for Saintly? I feel like I've seen you use a quill pen recently, but I can't remember. Yeah, I did all the inks for the most part digitally, and then I colored in the black spots. Oh no, I did all the inks traditionally on paper, and then uh I colored in all the black spots with in digital. Some of them I did on the page just for fun. Let me show an example. So we'll go to Saintly. Come on, buddy. Oh. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Page 2. Yes. And then I used digital to like really change up some things about the page that I drew. So this is like the traditional version. And let me show my screen in widescreen version. So this is the traditional version where I drew her normally, and I use like whiteout to white out certain parts and draw it properly. And then if you look, like most of the background is not filled in at all, and the eyes are still there, but the black is not filled in. The shoe and the foot is still there, but none of the background. I hadn't figured out any of that background at all. And then this bottom panel is still there. I just drew the most important ones for that, and then uh I modified it all digitally so that um things would be in the right place and the story would flow more naturally, and then I could do the perspective digitally because it was a 3-point down shot and I wanted to get that right. So yeah, that's how my process has been, and I like that the fact that it exists in both worlds. That way I can keep I can preserve the art in both realms in case something happens to either burn down my house or get all my files deleted. So yeah. I stand corrected. There is an anime trailer developing for the manga. Man, that's cool. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I just have to get to that point eventually. So I DM you the studio that's working on the trailer. I might have to check either Instagram or Twitter, but both of those are removed from my phone, so I'd have to look it up on the incognito tab on my computer because that's blocked by block site on my thing, so I can't even go to it. I did spot colors, pretty basic, but I did the lettering. Yeah, awesome deal. That's cool. Icta says, I'm doing the process for my manga. I hired an artist and doing the coloring and lettering. Nice. The writing is done, but I might change in the lettering stage. Okay. Nice. And I do that too. Like, I still have to create better dialogue, like better feeling dialogue for Saintly Chapter 1 so that it sounds more natural and it sounds like this is the character's voice. Because I wrote placeholder dialogue that's good enough to understand the story, but doesn't really use everything that I know about storytelling and writing. Like, I want this first chapter to be top tier, or at least the best I can make, so that it'll draw readers in and make them want to read more of the story. Like, there's a science to doing that, and I followed most of the science, so I have a whole list of whole checklist of things to add in to make this thing work. So I hope it's been working so far. Bloodness X, nice to see you, man, or lady, I don't know, but yeah. You said for making it with comics, there has to be a need for income, right? Are you trying to build traction with Saintly, or you have another plan? Yeah, I have another plan because Saintly is a paid product. So part of the proceeds, or part of what I make from the sales of Saintly, goes back to paying back the person who invested in it. So I can't make all that money for like I would with Air Rider, like where it's like profit, because this I got an advance for. So most of that money would go back to the paying back the initial investor, and then after Saintly either succeeds or fails is when the royalties would be split between the both of us. And then any book that I make after Saintly #1, the graphic novel, would be own thing. But I have 100% of the rights, and I can do with it whatever I want after book 1 comes out. They would still make the royalties on that, but it's a much better profit split than it would be if it was a let's say Oni Press or a Dark Horse or whatever, because they take 95% and you keep 5% of your publishing proceeds, and you don't even get to keep the ownership of the property. And then in this case, it's a 50-50 split, and I have full ownership of it after the finish of the creation. So that's basically how we worked out that deal. Um, so I'm just gonna keep working and then figure out other ways that I can make money, and then eventually reboot Air Rider and make it into its final version once I figure out how I want to draw it. But yeah, let me see. Somebody Master Panda says 95%. Jesus Christ, what a rip. Yeah, dude. I remember reading a long time ago, like, yo, that's sickening. Like 95%. Imagine maybe that's how it was with Scott Pilgrim, dude. But Scott Pilgrim was Scott Pilgrim, and everyone else is everyone else. You don't even know their names. Name one right now. I can name one. Um, I think Courtney Crumrin is, you know, published with Oni Press, but they're not Scott Pilgrim, where the creator, even with the deal that they made, and I don't know what deal they made, the creator's like probably a millionaire. I don't know. I don't really know his finances, but he's up there just because he made a really, really good comic one time. That's all it takes. Make one really good comic one time, and it becomes a cash cow for a lifetime. You got fucking like your Dragon Ball. You got your like Dragon Ball. You got your this is just what I have on hand. You got your Nana. You got your like My Hero Academia. All you have to do in comics is just make one hit comic, like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. You don't really have to do much else, because after that comic hits, you just finish that comic, and people will just be like jumping in. Like people will just be like, it will just have something, a certain something to it that can't be replicated, or people can't get anywhere else, and they can only get from your comic. So as long as you have one hit comic, then you are golden. Let me go back. So yeah, I do have another plan. It's to continue with this YouTube channel, get some clients for like storytelling consultations, so that I can help people like improve their storytelling, and then continue making Saintly until I finish out the contract and can sell it and get the rights completely, and make a second book, or do whatever it takes to just keep moving forward. So yeah, I see this as a student film to get an idea of what to expect from my storytelling. Oh, okay, your project. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Okay, that makes sense. It's unfortunate that a lot of people are turned off by cartooniness. There's such a wide range of expression you can play with in the cartoony style, and really contort and exaggerate the gestures. Yeah, yeah, it it really is appealing to me, a cartoony style, because it's just fun to look at, and one of the best people that can do it well is a creator by the name of Kyle Baker. And I have to leave in a little bit, but I still want to show y'all like Kyle Baker, man, because Kyle Baker can really do like great expressions, and like great, what's the word? Great caricatures. He can do great caricatures. He has perfect cartooning, and it's all based on real human beings, like all based on real human expression, real faces, real bone structure. It's nothing like anime that sort of like cannibalizes its own style and doesn't really innovate on itself. Like this is perfect. This is beautiful. Another great like artist to look up is Jason Pearson, who did this did this comic called Body Bags. Body Bags looks really cool. I haven't read it. I think I've only read the first issue, but I haven't really read the whole series. I just seen the art online and I was like, that looks dope. I want to be able to draw just like Jason Pearson and get my figures to look more rounded and cool. I'm trying to figure out how I can make my coloring look like a screenshot for an anime cell. Dude, that would be so awesome. Like that's what I'm trying to figure out too, man. Like I think it's the secret is in the drawing itself, like in the drawing of the character, because if you can draw the character right, in a way, like get the line work right in a way that works for anime, then you can make it look like a cell, like a cell shaded animation. Let me see. Said, man, I still can't afford Copic markers. Those things are expensive. Yeah, for real. I'll mess with these Crayola color pencils like I'm back in the 4th grade. Yeah, that's what I use like all throughout middle school because I couldn't afford it. Then at the Kubert school, we had no choice but to. It actually came included with our art kit. So we got a set of 45 Copic markers, and basically that was able to help me draw a lot of stuff. But I didn't even use these much because I'd learned so much other techniques like watercolor, and I finally got a digital tablet so that I didn't even need the Copic markers by that time. And I only wanted Copic markers because I wanted to be like the manga artists in Japan who were coloring with them and making art like instantly on the page. Like it was like they were the AI generators making fucking beautiful top tier art just by sitting there and doing it. They were just like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna draw light and L and make them look super badass in a couple hours, and then boom, with Copic markers and an inks and a nib pen, like you just had a top tier professional drawing in like an hour or two. And I was just like, that is godlike talent, godlike ability. I want to be able to have that. But yeah, there's an audience for that style. I could see it on a shirt. I bet there is, man. And I know where to find them, but I'm not even sure if they'd be interested in what I'm doing. So I'd have to figure out how to make more videos that they would be interested in watching. Hey, Solidine Brian, what's up, yo? How you doing? You missed not much. I was just flatting pages and just talking about like comics and Common America and all that stuff. I think you're 100% spot on. TMNT was the dream scenario. It's almost like they dropped the first couple of issues and the rest was history, but it's not like that can be replicated by every creator. Imagine if everybody could just do that and boom, like, oh, I'm an instant millionaire and whatnot. And I'm wondering how much pain or sacrifice or stuff they had to go through in the meantime before they came up with TMNT, because they were probably creating stuff for years beforehand. Usually you have to put in almost a mandatory 10 years of creating stuff in general before you can create something big that actually does blow up and make your comic a cash cow. Like you have to put in a decade or more doing other stuff that you just don't even care about or don't want to do, or just be bad at. And once you be bad at comics for long enough, you eventually break through and hit the market with something that actually clicks, and you're like, I've finally done it. But you have to keep drawing until you get to that point, and that means you have to stay physically healthy, mentally healthy, and financially healthy until you get to the point where your comic can finally like come together and hit the market in just such a way that it blows up, and now you have a hit on your hands, and you can continue making it for as long as you possibly can, um, until either the story finishes or you just don't want to draw it anymore because people are constantly buying that comic because you finally made a cash cow or a perennial seller, which is a book that I'm going to talk about at some point on my channel, where you make a comic that sells like an evergreen tree, like in rain, sleet, or snow, no matter what the economic downturn or upturn, it sells, like The Dark Knight or Watchmen. So you want to make a comic like that that could either be a seller that sells for all time, or you want to make a cash cow that'll sell for a period of time where you have extreme mainstream success, even if it's just a flash in the pan for uh 3 to 5 years. You make your money, you save it, and you take care of it, and you invest it, and then you can leave. Or you make a slow burn or something that does become popular and blows up and sells consistently, for years and years and decades. Yeah, that's my goal with making my own stuff as well. Ichther says, I am the total opposite. I'm looking for a stylized cartoon for my stories at Massive. I feel like realism is boring, and even video games are getting to that point. Yeah, like triple A video games are like too realistic, and indie games are actually like embracing more of the cartooniness or the more interesting design elements. Master Panda, Jason Pearson was awesome. I didn't someone do a crowdfunding campaign for one of his old indie series recently? I would have backed it, but I just say I'm too short on cash these days. Yeah, it's the same with me. But and I did want to back it because it just had a lot of good art. But I think I don't know. I think that was after he passed away. I don't know what happened to that campaign or if it even fulfilled or whatever. Master Panda said, yeah, Peter Laird was really attached to his Fujitold character, and that didn't take off, but then he put the character in the original TMNT series later, so he was able to recycle that character. Oh yeah, that's another way to do that kind of stuff, like where you finally make a series that hits. It doesn't even have to be a mega hit, but then you can reuse characters and do them right in another series that's more popular. Or at least that's what I've been led to believe. 100%. There's an obsession with realism these days, and quite frankly, that got boring for me after a really long time ago. I want to see more stylized work across the art. Yeah, absolutely, man. Well, yeah, it's past that 2 hour mark, and I still have to make the video for today. I'm probably gonna do a really quick one right now, just to say how tired I am and whatnot, and then I'm gonna go to sleep. And then I got work tomorrow, and that's pretty much it. And then I'll see you next Thursday. But yeah, it was fun hanging out with you guys today. I'm really thankful that you guys come out pretty much every time and hang for a little while, and we'll just talk about whatever, man. But yeah, hope you all have a good night, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.